Huh?
Can you repeat what you said?
How easy is it to get a teacher list? Go on Burnsville High School, do language arts or English teachers. What's going to come up? All the language arts teachers, right? Minnetonka, where my kids are, same deal. Pick the biggest schools. You know, how can you find the mass of people to email to talk about the book, okay? Because really what we're trying to do is make enough marketing to sell a lot of books. This is really going to be kind of a short-term business. We don't have to run this thing forever. But if we run it from now until Christmas, you guys may fund all of your own college tuition, okay? So let's talk about online. Where else do you see marketing? What's another marketing medium? Yeah?
Ads in the paper.
Paper, and not necessarily ads. So here's a newspaper, and this is front page of business. This is me, okay? Not only did they do a story on me, but on the front of the page, but there's a whole section on the back. And basically, this article says, oh, she's got classes, and here's where you go to send her money. Okay? So the way you get in the newspaper is to have a good story. And what is better than a story about a class at Burnsville putting together a whole business to fund all of their college tuitions? Okay? That's going to get covered. There's people that cover stories all the time about what you guys are doing because it's a human interest story and people like to read about it. Okay? Where else? We had newspaper, so that's considered print, which is also going to be magazines. Magazines, the challenge is you can still get in them, but it's like a 3-month lag time. So if we wanted something in December issues for Christmas, we would have missed the deadline already. They're just very long time frames. Okay? What's another marketing medium? We have online, print, yeah?
Radio.
Radio. So radio may seem like a dying one, but with all of the radio stations going online, it's actually one that's increasing. And so really, if you have a good story, you can hit radio. Now, I've been on radio from Vegas to Maine. And the great part about it is the producer calls you on their dime and asks you questions about your story. Anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. So when we look at, have you guys all seen the Chicken Soup for the Soul series? So the story behind Chicken Soup for the Soul is, these two guys wrote it, which is a little strong, we'll talk about that later. Went out and produced the first Chicken Soup for the Soul. They went to the major publishers and said, will you publish this? And they're like, no, we don't really think anybody will buy it. So they went back and got 20,000 people that said, if it was available, I'd buy it. And they went back to the publishers and they said, no, really, we don't think you're, we think you're crazy, nobody's going to buy this. So they talked a small publisher into publishing the book for them. And what happened was, they have sold over 100 million copies of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. It is only second in number of printings to the Bible in the world. So obviously the small publisher is writing very big checks at this point. But what they did to publicize and promote it was radio. They were on radio stations day in and day out when they first launched the book. If you ever read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek, he did the same thing. They were on the radio because they could do a lot of interviews in a short period of time. And they could sit in one place and do them versus going to interviews. Okay? So radio is a great way to get your message out. What's the last one? Yeah? TV. So how do you get on TV for free? Goes back to a great story. Been on KARE 11 a few times, WCCO. If you have a great story, which if they're interviewing you guys, even if it's your single business, if you're running a landscaping business, they will interview almost every kid entrepreneur. Okay? So you think about doing that, getting out to millions of people in a very short period of time without any money, which is what we were looking for. Okay? So if we do all of this great marketing, what we're going to do next is try to predict our sales. Okay? How many books do you think we could sell looking at all of this marketing? But before we do that, let's talk about money. Because we don't have the money to get the books printed and bound. Okay? So that tends to be our money problem. Well, what happens in my business, these books are about $20 a set to print and bind. Now, if I want 1,000 sets, it's going to be $20,000. I don't really want to pay that. So what we do is, before they come out in January, we go out to all of our customers in October and start talking about, do you want a set of the books? If you want a set today, send me money and I'll give you a 10% discount, and we'll ship them in January. So people start sending us money. October, November, December. January we get the books delivered, and we have 30 days to pay the bill. February. I have 5 months to sell books and get cash in before the bill is ever due. Does that cash flow strategy work in any other business? Can you think of it? Anybody got an idea? Yeah.
Pre-ordering like a game?
Yeah, games exactly have jumped on this bandwagon. They know that all of those people doing $1 or $5 or even paying for the game full price are going to be future cash flows. What about other books in your lives? What other books are you buying? What's the biggest school book you're buying?
College textbooks.
No? It's probably a big one. It's probably like this big, hardcover, has everybody's cute picture in it. Yearbooks. When are you paying for that baby? October? When do you get it? May?
End of the year.
Right? June, depending. So they're using your money October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 8 months they're using your money. Right? And why is that? They got people to pay, they got presses, they got to buy the paper. They're taking all those deposits up front knowing that you'll get the book later. Okay? What about using that, think about hot concert tickets. When do you buy those? You're not waiting until the last minute to pick up a set of Taylor Swift. Unless you're buying it through StubHub or one of those now. But some shows in Vegas are out a whole year. You got to buy tickets ahead of time to be able to even get in the show. So how do we take that into your own business? If you want to run a landscaping business or a mowing business, can you go to customers and say, you know what, if you pay me today for 4 weeks, I'll give you the 5th week free. Right? So then you're charging $50 a week, $40 a week. So then you get 40 times 5, or 40 times 4, what, 160? How many customers do you really need to go out and buy a lawnmower? 3? 4? Depending on what you want. You get enough customers ahead of time, you can buy a truck to pull it. Right? Cash flow is all about business. And so we really want to, in all of our marketing, tell people where to send us money. So that's one of the keys of business. How can you get money in faster to support what you're doing? So it's really important to kind of think about that and put it in all of our marketing. So here we got this great story. We're on the news. They run a little ticker at the bottom that says, here's where to send money. Whether we lead them to a PayPal account, a free website, wherever it is. Right? Okay. We've done all of this great marketing. Let's talk about sales. So let's talk about pricing of the book first. This is where we're going to come to consensus. So everybody has to vote. Right? A typical book this size, what would we want to know first? How much does it cost to print and bind? How much do you think a book, well, let's go first. With all that great marketing, how many do you think we could sell out of the 8 million possible people? Someone throw out a number. How many do you think you could sell? Yeah,
2 million?
2 million. How many people are above 2 million? Think we could sell above 2 million? Okay. So the majority of people are below 2 million. Let's go. How many people think we could sell at least 1 million? With all of us working on that marketing. Remember, everybody's got to vote. Okay, so we got majority to 1 million. How many people think 1.5 million? Okay, we still have majority. So how about like 1.8 million? Okay, so let's go 1.5 million. I think that's where we get to majority. What do you think we should charge for the book? I'm going to tell you, books are a little bit of a commodity. And so a book like this will go from $3.95 to $14.95. Okay? It's not really a book that we're going to be able to get $25 or $100 for. Yeah?
How much do they cost to make?
Good question. So 1.5 million books will be about 50 cents to make per book.
Oh,
Yeah, so these books, I charge $170 for a set, and I get them printed for $20. That's a pretty nice margin, isn't it?
Single
Right?
profit.
Math majors? So, okay, so they cost about 50 cents to make. What do we want to charge for the book? Okay, we'll go to consensus again. How many people want to be on the lower end, $4.95? Okay, how many people want to go at least $8.95? At least $8.95? You want to go higher? So you're at least $8.95. Okay, how many people want to be kind of $10.95? Okay, so it looks like we're kind of in the middle. Let's do $9.95. Why do we charge the 95 cents? Anybody? Yeah.
Make it look cheaper?
Yeah, it makes it look cheaper. It's about psychology. We all know it's only a nickel or a penny, but for some crazy reason, we buy more if it's 95 cents. For anybody that sells online, if you end with a 7, you actually will sell more. Who knows why? I don't know. But people have done thousands and thousands of tests to find out what people buy at. Okay, so let's do, what do we do, $9.95? Which I'm going to round to 10 because the math is easier. What's our sales number? 1.5 times 10?
$5.
You got it.
15 million.
15 million. So we have expenses. Print and bind is going to be 50 cents. So 50 cents times 1.5 million. What other expenses do we have running this business? Yeah.
Like work really to like put it onto the shelves.
Yep, and so we pre-sold all the books. So we don't even need shelf space. If you put a book in a bookstore, you get 42% of the book price. Cuts into our margin quite a bit. But we pre-sold the $1.5 million. So at this point, we're getting all that money. So what else maybe we need workers for? At this point, we got $1.5 million books coming in. Who's putting them in the envelopes? And shipping them out? Workers? Okay, I'm going to tell you, workers are kind of a pain. You got to pay taxes on them. You got to do. If we did this all as partners, how many are in class? Are you going to count?
We have 32.
Okay. Plus us.
Yeah, so it's us, 34.
Okay. So if we all do this, and I'm going to tell you, it's the easiest thing in the world because I've done it with those books. You open a box, you take out a book, you put it in an envelope, you put a label on it. It may take us 4 days, all of us working together, to get all of that $1.5 million out, $1.5 million books, but we don't have to give anybody else any money, right? So this is where we kind of start looking for ways to not just cut costs, but what can we do versus what do we have to hire out? Okay? What about, so 1.5 million books is going to be about 5 pallets of books. Where are they going?